Really? I haven't pressed record. Really? Anywho, I was showing this. This is the fat one. They have the fat one and they have the skinny one. And I use the fat one on my feet and my crusty feet and ankles. And I use the small one as an overnight lip balm. And then the next morning, after I brush my teeth, I'll apply it once again so that by the time it wears off, it'll be time to apply my lip wear if I'm wearing any. If I'm not, then I'll just be wearing cocoa butter lips. I have cocoa butter lips. I can't just listen to my YouTube playlist anymore because, damn it, they got commercials on all of them. I used to be able to let me turn it off because I'm gonna be rambling anyway. Yeah, I wanted to discuss red flags because they flash in neon for me. First of all, bitches don't see them. But first of all, when you do see them, you ignore them. And you start honing in on all the surface shit that doesn't matter. Like how much somebody what kind of work people do and how much they get paid and that kind of thing. Look. Normally, if the videos didn't come from somebody that I don't like, whatever. It's the business as usual, obviously, because this is how most chicks do. But I saw a couple of videos from a couple of people that I actually like. I want the music to be loud enough to where when I shut up, I can still hear the music, but when I talk, then I'll be talking over the music. And I know you'll hear me over the music either way, but I want to jam. I wants to jam. You know, she was talking about red flags and stuff, and of course, she noticed the red flags. She's dating apparently, and she saw the red flags or whatever. She was saying because dating is difficult, she was going to lower her age bracket of the guys that she dated. And this particular guy told her, this is a guy that she liked, right? In this particular, well, let me tell you. First, she talked about two guys. She talked about the first guy who basically wanted to text her to death, which showed her that he didn't really want to get to know her. You know, people think, and she knows it's a new day and age, and people text. But when you're trying to get to know someone, and a guy is building the beginning of your relationship on text, you know, that's something you need to pay attention to. She did pay attention to it. And she didn't see the guy. She didn't continue to see the guy. However, there's this other guy who she really enjoyed his company. First guy that was trying to text her to death was 40 or 50. But this other guy was, I think, he was 35. Yeah, he was 35. But he was telling her, I guess she obviously told him she needed to lower her age bracket. Which is, let me tell you. Let me just tell you, little girls, that ain't something you do. It's not their business how you go about selecting the gentleman you will or won't spend your personal time with. You make those decisions. You put that out there, really, so he could give you a rebuttal for a reason for him to stay in your life right now and go at least going far enough to get in your pants, you know. But, you know, it's just like celibacy. When people are celibate, and they tell their potential whoever you dating gonna figure out you celibate when you're not fucking them tomorrow. They'll figure out you celibate when you still not fucking them next week and next month. They'll still figure out you celibate if they still willing to propose to you after months of getting to know you and building a relationship with you and falling in love with you. If celibacy is your thing, you don't have to announce it to people. Because you know what you're going to do? You're going to fuck around and find that guy that's going to propose to you and get you some bullshit. Get your head all ready for this bullshit. And you're going to figure, well, since we get married anyway, you're going to hit your weak moment before the wedding. And he not going to need to marry your ass. I might want to do Afro puffs today. This is not really behaving proper. And why is it so hot right now? Last guy told her, you know, if a guy is an asshole at 20 or 30, he's going to be an asshole at 40 or 50, blah, 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 blah. And in most cases, that is true. I agree with the dude right there. But I also get taking your age range older. Now, that is not to say that older people are going to be more mature. But I found when I was young, that of all the mature people that actually exist, in fact, you could go to a whole, I only partied with old people. That's all I party with. And they all silly motherfuckers, okay? But of the people in the world who are mature, there's a greater likelihood that it is going to come from an older age bracket. That's not to say that there aren't some exceptions. I was an exception, which made me and everyone who knows me that think that I would end up with someone old enough to be my granddad, and people just gonna be making assumptions that I will just got me a sugar daddy or some shit, and they would have no idea that we really loved each other's dirty draws. Me and this old goon. Love. That's what it was gonna be. But I was blessed to run into someone my age, who had that level of maturity and still knows, because that's the thing with mature people. They're mature people, but still know how to let their hair down. So that is to me, mature people were the fun. You know, people say, oh, they're no fun, old stories. Old people were the funnest, are the funnest. You know how to have responsible fun, or even when they, being a little naughty, they know how to be naughty properly. Am I gonna have to do Afro puffs today? Is that what's gonna happen? So she thought because this guy was, which would probably fell right into his plan. She thought that because this guy is mature enough to say some shit like, if a guy is gonna be an asshole at 20 or 30 years old, he gonna be an asshole at 40 or 50, and that gave her something to think about, and that's true. Okay, that's a fact. Okay, that made her think, oh well, maybe I need to be open to that. So basically, him saying that did its job, because it made her feel that kind of way. No shade though on her, because she, just for the record, she is more mature than most of y'all out there. She just is. But anywho, she gonna keep running into problems. I see that right now. Okay, boo-boo, you gonna keep running into problems until you eventually settle for the type of person you ought not be settling for. That's what you're gonna do. Yeah, boo. And there's another one, and this other one, I don't just like her. I love this one. You hear me? I love her like she my people. But anyway, this other one, she was talking about, she went somewhere with her friend and her man, her friend's man, and she went to get gas, and she was up in arms. Do you hear me? Because he didn't get out the car and pump her gas, because that's what men do. And then she went on to talk about another ex she had that came over to her house and wouldn't empty the trash. Let me just tell you what trips me out. That's what trips me out. Okay, you think you know what a man is. You think you know what a man is made of, okay? But the dudes that I see calling you man in general practice are not men to me. Okay? But okay, I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing. And then she mad at her friends and them because they had the nerve to tell her that that's not, they justified it by saying that's not your man. Okay, that doesn't justify the act of not being chivalrous. However, that is not your man. And that is not even your boy to make into a man. See, this type of thing is why I don't like children. Because if I see a badass child and there's not going to be an intervention because that came from your parents. If I see a badass child and it came from that person's parents, that child's going to stay a badass child, like the other chick said, like the dude said earlier. If you're going to be a motherfucker at 20 or 30, you'll be a motherfucker at 40 or 50. He didn't say it like that. He said asshole, but I'm saying motherfucker. But so I feel that way about children who have fucked up parents and there's no intervention. So you're going to grow up to be a motherfucker because you got it enabled, all throughout your life. So, anyway, she mad at the dude because he didn't pump her gas. I mean, she is up in arms. And I'm watching the video and I'm cracking up. Because how you going to make someone else's man a man for you that you want? If that's the case, you should be going out into the regular world getting mad every day at all these little childish people in the world, both male and female, because both of them don't do what adult people do, male and female. And this is the same person that does reviews of reality show all day, all night. I got a whole, not a whole host, I have a good handful of bitches that I actually like as human beings. I like to watch their videos. I think I like them as human beings. I don't really know them except for what I see, but I like to watch their videos. But you know what? I skip all the reality show reviews. Not because, like, eventually I'm going to do a reality show review or two. But if you notice, when I do a reality show review, it never lasts the whole season. I never can do the whole series because I get fed up. I get so fed up so fast. I'm so intolerant of ignorance. So needless to say, I skip everybody's. If I love you and you know I love you, because I skip all your reality show reviews. I don't have the patience. I don't have it in me. But that always kills me though. It's always like a reality head that's the main one that got all the relationship advice. Reality heads. I'm not talking about because the bitches I'm talking about usually. Well, you know what? I guess to some extent they gotta ride for that type of life if they watching it like that as a reality show. If you just watching a sitcom or a series and taking it, we all know it's bullshit and it's all and it's staged. But I don't think you guys know to the extent that shit is staged. I don't believe the jail time. I don't believe the lawsuits. I don't believe the marriages. I don't believe the divorces. I don't believe the stuff that they build up to be something. I don't believe the businesses. No, those bitches don't have real businesses in real life where you could go to the brick and mortar and walk in and do whatever the business is supposed to do. You can't go in and do whatever the fuck it's supposed to do. If you notice, whenever they go and have something somewhere at some club or something, or some release something, or some grand opening or some shit, it's always about 20 motherfuckers in the building, okay? All of which are likely paid extras. You know, even when you call yourself going around giving out flyers for some bullshit, you know what? I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do reviews on reality show. Except I'm gonna do a review on like the whole reality show, because you're not gonna get me to sit down in front of one of those shits for longer than an X amount of time. You know, I even tried to watch, and Scandal's not even real. And I tried to, you know, it's some good writing. I'll give it that. But I can't even, you know what? I'm just gonna go through all the reality shows that I have given any energy and let you know what I think about them. Producers ain't gonna appreciate me at all for that. Oh look, it's raining. It's raining all the fucks I don't give. Yeah. So you can't tell me you want a real man and you're a reality head. I'm gonna be like, okay, even if you deserve one, cause an eighth of y'all deserve that good man that you claim or think you want. An eighth of y'all deserve it. But of that eighth, 90% of y'all ain't gonna get him. You ain't gonna attract him. Nope. You're not trying to get mad because somebody ain't a man. Get mad all day, every day, because it's a whole bunch of dudes out there that ain't man. Your friend's man won't pump the gas for you. You know your friend. You know she ain't shit for choosing men. Okay? And you haven't been able to change that in all the time that y'all been friends. She still ain't shit for choosing men. Look at that shit, and I would look at that shit, and that shit would be hilarious to me. I would be like, girl, really? That's how you rolling? That's what you selling for these days? Okay, girl. You gone, girl. You got a man, girl. Not I. Don't get mad. I learned to love red flags. I love red flags. They flash in neon for me. I love them. Because it lets me know to keep you the fuck out of my life. If you are a dude who is not a man and you are of adult age and in perfect position, should have had enough experience to be a gentleman by now, and you are not. Child. I'm telling y'all, you sound real strong on camera. You sound real strong about the wants you have in your relationship goals. You sound real strong. But girl, and what fucks me up is when I'm looking at a female who actually knows what to look for. Her conditioning just gets in the way. Y'all conditioned to, what's important is what kind of car they drive. If they, what their income is, what they professional status. And not to say that those things aren't valuable, but I'm talking about priceless, character-driven things. And even to the point where, like say the chick that got mad because the guy didn't pump the gas. Or, like I knew when I was younger that a guy that has been guided well knows to walk on a certain side of the sidewalk when you guys are walking together. But every guy doesn't know that, and that doesn't make him a bad guy because all the men in his life was a motherfucker. You could run into the one guy that broke the cycle. So he hadn't picked that up yet. But he got everything else in line. Not every guy knows not to sit in the restaurant with his back to the door. Okay? But there are little bitty things that men are not necessarily taught, but it's a side effect of their character that I pay attention to. It's a million of them. It's a million of them. And I am 99% an accurate judge of character. About you want a good man and you want a real man. But reality TV bitches are who you admire. You consume yourself with that shit, you keep on. And I'm at an age where I don't try to change nobody's nothing, but at the same time, if you come to me with some complaints about how your life is turning out, I just might have to share with you the role that you play in said circumstances. Especially if I love you. If I don't get no fucks, I'll just sit back and I'll be like, oh, for real, girl? Girl, go ahead, girl. Girl, I see how that could bother you. I see how you could be upset. Oh, girl, really? That impressed you, girl? Really, girl? Real girl? I can see how you would be impressed by that. I can see how you would be impressed by that. Go on, girl. Shit like that is just how celibacy bitches end up giving it up to the next motherfucker anyway. So that means you missed out on them last 2 years of fucking any and everybody that you was gullible enough to fuck. Only to end up giving it to this dude. You could have done gave it to them other 3 no good ass dudes that tried it. But you thought you was doing something by turning them down. Why my eyebrows so crunchy? My eyebrows get crunchy when I'm telling you about yourself. My eyebrows get so crunchy. Speaking of eyebrows, my eyebrows always be whack. I'm gonna have to split these up into 2 different videos, obviously.